Hey everyone, welcome to your Friday edition of The Nerve. Oh man, do we have a packed episode for you today. First, we have an exclusive Frontline Nerve report regarding a repeat offender, one flame-out morning show host known as Hoda Kotb, who is desperately trying to flog joy as a commodity that she and she alone owns. Good luck, lady. We're taking you to the woodshed. Next, we have a new gruesome twosome shilling for one of America's most famous clothing brands. Your feedback on the napalm Nepo baby that is one Violet Affleck. Wow, did that segment land with you troublemakers? Plus more of your feedback. We got a ton, and we're going to go through it all. It's so good. We're going to follow that up with first-time Nerve guest and gossip reporter extraordinaire Rob Shooter, who has been breaking some amazing celebrity stories of late and is all over the latest on this Nicole Kidman, Keith Urban bust-up. And if you think there's just one other woman, Rob's got some news for you, okay? Plus, even more breaking nerve news, developments, and a mini that we are all dying over here about at Nerve Central. Sounds good? I think it sounds kind of great. So, let's go. Let's talk about your cooking, if you cook. Now, those ultra-processed canola oils in your pantry, brace yourself. They're industrial byproducts that were once used as warship lubricants and deemed unfit for human consumption. But then big food corporations sold us on seed oils like canola oil while dismissing the natural animal fats our grandparents swore by. And that is where golden age fats come in. Their 100% American-made grass-fed beef tallow revives that wholesome tradition. It makes your fried chicken, steaks, eggs, or roasted veggies taste incredible. Think 90s McDonald's fries. I mean, nothing's better than 90s McDonald's fries. Golden age fats are packed with vitamins, minerals, and healthy fatty acids. And the high smoke point is ideal for any recipe. You will leave feeling satisfied, energized, and without the heavy crash that seed oils give. It is clean, no additives, no preservatives, just pure Midwest tallow from grass-fed cows. So if you are ready to go back to the basics, give Golden Age beef tallow a try. Go to goldenagefats.com/Maureen and use code Maureen for 25% off your first order. That's goldenagefats.com/Maureen and code Maureen for 25% off your first order. Hoda Kotb, you guys. Her new book, I have it right here. I read it last night in like 20 minutes, okay? I didn't read the whole thing, but you can sometimes get a real sense in 20 minutes and, there's no point in going any further. So her book published while we were on our breather. And who won't take a breather is Hoda, which is what she's supposed to be doing. Like she literally talks about breath work as part of this new practice. Like the involuntary reaction, the involuntary physiological bodily reaction that keeps all of us alive. Hoda's going to talk to us about how to do it better. Okay. She allegedly, reportedly by her own self-report, actually quit the Today Show. The best job this woman was ever going to get. She lucked into it. And Rob and I are going to talk about it. We're going to fight it out a little bit down the line over this one. I love him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Hoda was like, I got to flounce off the Today Show. You know why? It's not because you're lowballing me with my new contract dispute. No, not that. It's because I need to go spend more time with my kids. Okay. My kids are 6 and 8. I'm a single mom. These are the important years. This is the time I'll never get back. And that's what really matters in life. And then she got home to her family and within 5 minutes was like, effing bored out of my mind. And you know what? These kids aren't giving me the dopamine hits I get when I see random Midwesterners outside the studio at the Today Show. in Rockefeller Center. So I got to do something to get more camera time. And she keeps trying to get back on the Today Show. And they're increasingly like, lady, you quit. And you can't come back. Okay. But so whatever, they let her back on last week for like I think she got like an 8-minute hit. That's a lot. That's most hits for morning TV are like 4. But anyway, so it's not going to be enough for her. But anyway, Savannah pretended to be super happy to see Hoda yet again be fouling the sofa at the Today Show. Her friendship bracelets, her Taylor Swift. Hoda's a 60-year-old woman. Okay, she's wearing friendship Taylor Swift bracelets. They are stacked higher than ever. Okay. Anyway, here she is talking to Savannah about the art of radical self-reflection. Physician, heal thyself. Here we go.
You did some radical self-reflection, and it takes courage to change a life.
I think it's easy to go through and say, this is me. And I think if we stop for a second and take a deep breath and evaluate and look at what we have and decide. And I think sometimes we're too busy. Like I was too busy sprinting. Now I can feel my life slowing down a little.
What? She can feel her life slowing down a little. She's got this book. She's got this app. She's got these retreats she's trying to flog. She's on tour. She's doing her media hits. Her life slowed down. Oh, yeah. You know what? Everyone in America, between working 8 to 12 hours a day, your morning and nightly commutes, raising your kids, caring for aging parents, grocery shopping, cooking, paying your bills, doing all the things that need doing, life admin, and trying to carve out just a little bit of time for yourself so you can refuel to face the next week ahead. Do what Hoda's telling you. Really reflect, really go, is this what I should be doing? The stupid title of this book, Jump and Find Joy. And by the way, it's got this terrible prologue. I hate when people who aren't writers write books and they don't hire good co-authors. Sorry, Jane, this is not good stuff. The prologue ends with, so 1, 2, 3, like grab my hand and let's jump. And by the way, this book is a pile of steaming garbage, as my mother used to say, because she's stealing other people's. It's either repackaged interviews with people that she once spoke to, or she's just taking stuff they've already said and repackaging it. Like, you want to know what Ina Garten thinks? Go. It's in here. The Hoda's not a thinker. Okay. Anyway, here she went on to Drew Barrymore's show, and when you can out cringe Drew, now that is a gift. I will give it to Hoda. Let's take a look. Oh, we're dressed in white like we're the Messiah, the second coming. Okay, now, Drew's like, how did that happen that you're here? It almost sounds like Drew's like, did somebody clue me in to this booking? And Drew is pretty like, she's kind of a little out there. She's kind of, this is normally her thing. But so I just want to take a side detour for a quick moment, if I may, and it will be worth it. I promise you. Jennifer Aniston went on Drew last week, again, while we were off, and our eagle-eyed producer Marlena caught this and sent it to me. She went on to Drew. She's promoting that piece of shit known as The Morning Show. Now, you guys, I'm watching. Tell me if you want us to be doing the Hate Watch recap, because I have thoughts, but I don't want to belabor you with them if it's not something that you would like to also woodshed with me. You know what I'm saying? So let us know. But anyway, so Jennifer, it's amazing, self-importance. She thinks she's doing real prestige TV. She goes over to the Drew Barrymore show, and Drew's codependency with her, her glomming on to her famous female guests has not gotten any better. Martha Stewart literally pushed her off and said, stop trying to feel me up. I just want to flog my stuff and get going. Stop touching me. But Drew won't get the message. Like so many in the culture, they won't get the message. And in fact, these tendencies of Drew's seem to have gotten worse. during her hiatus because she has come back for her fall season as a stage 5 clinger. Okay, watch as Jennifer Aniston makes a similar walk onto Drew's set. And the only thing I could think of with Drew is like, I don't know if you've seen My Octopus Teacher, which is an amazing documentary. And if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. And I'm going to give you a little bit of how to watch it. Okay. It's about this Australian man who's a single father going through a depression, and he takes up swimming in the open waters, and he stumbles upon this octopus who he becomes obsessed with. And one night he gets out of bed in like the middle of the night because he's preoccupied with what the octopus is doing and is she okay? He says it's a she, and this is like 2 a.m, and he goes swimming into the ocean to find the octopus. And I'm telling you, what this documentary is really about is this guy going to actually F this octopus? Okay, he's in love with the octopus. It's a sexual fetish. Incredible documentary. You watch it that way, you're watching it right. Okay, but like the octopus, they have these massive suckers, on their arms, and they're whatever they are, and they can the suckers, the suction cups, they can not only create like a watertight seal, but they can move objects. These are facts that are up to 700 pounds, okay? And all I could think of watching this is Drew is the octopus and Aniston is her prey, okay? Watch this. Here comes Jen. Fine, the audience is clapping, whatever. They are hugging like long-lost lovers. And Jen is like kind of making faces like, how long are we doing this little dance? It smells so beautiful. It's like a 20-second long hug. It is long, okay? Drew needs a lot of help. Now, we got more celebrity psychobabble from Jen and Drew. But America's sweetheart, Jen, she's I don't know. She's like running around with this like celebrity hypnotherapist. She's really high on her own supply for someone who's got a boyfriend who his gig is going on Instagram and staring into his iPhone and going, repeat after me. I am worthy of love. Jen really thinks she's hot shit. She's got this terrible Apple TV show and she's got this loser boy, whatever. Okay. Now watch Jen, who is sitting in Drew's studio promoting her show. Okay, so she's a guest in Drew's house as well. This Drew's studio, that's her house, okay? And she's hosting you on her show and telling you how much she loves and admires you and how everybody in that audience should go and support your show and put more money in your pocket. Watch Jen insult Drew and then suddenly try to reverse course. Watch this.
You get to a point in your life where you're worried about things that just, it's sort of a waste of time to worry about.
Oh God, the
right?
celebrity horseshit again.
The things that just don't matter.
For me, it made me so unhappy to mismanage time. And then I thought about my life growing up, how I was an actor and a producer. And
did you say were?
Yeah, I know. I did.
That's ridiculous. Because you are an actor.
You're right.
Right?
A fake smile.
Okay.
Jen's applauding.
Drag your butt out of this beautiful studio. I love this.
Okay.
How much fun is it? But you got to get onto this. We're going to do something.
Okay. So Jen was like, she's got some nerve. I'm just going to say it. She was a bitch here, and so I'm just going to be a bitch. Okay, Jennifer Aniston has had way too many cosmetic interventions, and it's difficult watching the morning show because her face is all effed up. And she's going to sit there and say to Drew Barrymore in her studio with her live studio audience, did you say you were an actor? You are an actor, okay? Because being an actor is the highest calling. Jen, do you think you could sit on a sofa 5 days a week and carry on conversations without a script? You are paid to memorize lines that other people write for you. You don't seem all that interesting. We've known you now for 40 years. You don't seem that interesting. So you insult Drew by saying this shit you're doing over here with these losers in your audience. We got to get you back to your beautiful studio. Your beautiful studio. But really, we got to get you back into movies where it belongs. Movies are dying, Jen. Get out. Okay. Now back to Hoda and her bullshit. Back to our real offender. Okay. Now for the millionth time, here's Hoda telling Drew, we're back at Drew, telling Drew Barrymore the story of Jenna Bush Hager telling Hoda to go to a breathwork lady. We have heard this story just about as many times as we have heard Meghan Markle tell us that when she was 11, she wrote a letter to a dish soap company. Okay. But this is where Hoda gets her wisdom. Let's go.
Everything's landing. Everything's landing. Everything's landing. I go, what happened? One breathwork session did a clearing and a stress release that changed a little bit of just how I absorbed information, how I walked through the world. It was small. It was free. I mean, once you know how to do it, you just do it. And it gave me
Why don't you just show us then?
And energy. So I was curious. I go, that was amazing. So what else do people do? And Maria Shriver goes, try meditation. I was like,
name drop.
So I tried that. All of a sudden, I started trying all these cool things. And I realized that my emotion, how I was relating emotionally, I was regulated. I felt calm. I had clarity. I had energy. So it all led me down this path.
Okay, literally, it's all in this book, you guys.
Yeah.
Real life.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of her. So Hoda said, by the way, you guys, she said all of the sudden. Now, as for this book, before we get to our frontline report from the intrepid Marlena, who, trust me, she did a lot to get in there. Here's a chapter, okay, called Helpful Tips and Tools. This chapter is 1, 2.5 pages long because she's writing for morons. No, sorry, it's 2.25 pages long. Okay, helpful tips and tools to jump and find joy. Take a deep breath. Write it down. I guess whatever your goals are. Imagine it. Now, Hoda launched this piece of shit book last week at a church in Connecticut. Talk about desecration. There's a church here in downtown New York that was, what do they call it? Like de-sanctified. I don't know what they call it, but then it became a nightclub, became the Limelight, which was, really fun in the 90s. And there's all sorts of debauchery going on there. But whatever went on at the Limelight, which we used to call the Slimelight, it's nothing approaching what Hoda has done befouling an actual church in Connecticut. Okay. So our fearless producer, Marlena, said, hey, I will go to this live launch event and report back. And I said to her, Marlena, are you sure? Because there are several things you're going to have to do to go undercover. Now, I know that you wear exclusively just about black. Sometimes we'll veer into a gray, but you're going to have to wear florals. If you want to fit in, if you don't want to raise eyebrows, you're going to have to go to like TJ Maxx and buy some florals. And then you're going to have to get stacks of Taylor Swift friendship bracelets, and you're going to have to wear those. And then you better smack a smile on your face and be friendly. And you're going to have to develop, not that Marlene is not friendly, but she's one of us. And then you're going to have to develop a real taste for wine mom shit. You're going to have to really lap up that cheap, warm Chardonnay out of a tiny plastic cup. And she said, anything for the nerve. She's a true troublemaker. She made it out alive. She made it out intact. And here she is to tell us what she saw on the front lines of Hoda's incessant chatter about chasing nothing. Nothing. Okay. Welcome, Marlena. What are you doing? Stop. What are you doing?
I'm finding joy.
Let me know when you found it. Okay. Let us know. First of all, I have to give you so much credit. Can we take a look to begin with at Marlena's before and after? before, like who she is in real life versus how she had to go. I actually I feel for you. Like I feel real pain for you. Like where'd you get that dress, by the way?
I can't actually remember where I got that dress. That was a gift from someone about 3 years ago. So it was in your
closet. Like you didn't have to, it was like in there somewhere.
And then apparently it was waiting for this moment in time because I finally used it.
I guess it's what Hoda would call, she wouldn't know what the word serendipity is. It has too many syllables, but,
and the bracelets came from my daughter's collection.
Okay, there you go. Now you were sending me photos and video throughout, and one of the things that you noticed right away was how like cheap the whole thing looked. Like there, like some like low paid intern had like taken a Sharpie and like slapped like go upstairs this way arrow to like the Hoda event.
Yeah. And what's crazy, and you're seeing it now, is that, they never even said
Hoda and Jenna, who, by the way, as you said, Jenna wasn't even advertised, which says to me, Hoda was like, Jenna, please, I need somebody to be my interviewer. Nobody's doing it, please. And Jenna at the last minute finally said, all right, I'll do it.
Right, exactly. So I was like, when I walked up, I was like, I don't understand how Jenna's here. Not one mention of Jenna. But then we found out that the church that we were in was the church that her grandfather, the first Bush, had gone to when he was young. Apparently, the whole family's
President George H.W. Bush.
President George H.W. Bush was a member of that church. Look at this. They're worshiping at the house of Hoda.
That is so sacrilegious. They're holding up her books as if they're Bibles in a church. This is why I think this stuff is so dangerous, as much as we laugh about it, but it's dangerous.
It is. But what I don't understand is what everybody's getting out of these talks. If you were there, you would hear Hoda say the same exact thing that she has said on Drew, that she has said on the Today Show, that she has said in her podcast, Making Space, or whatever it's called. And it's the same thing about breath work. It's the same thing about getting to a place in her life where she needed to slow down and spend time with her kids. But as you said, she's not spending time with her kids. She's actually starting a business.
They're bores. They're dull.
Well, apparently they are.
They're not fans.
She did an interview for Meet the Press, and she talked about how
Meet the Press. I missed this. You saw it. Meet the Press.
Yeah.
The legacy media wonders. Okay, please tell us.
And she tells Welker that, I'm learning how to be something like I'm learning how to be home with my kids almost all the time. And she's learning a lot of things, because even in this church seminar or whatever this was supposed to be, she talked about how she doesn't know what she's doing, but she's learning in terms of making this business, but she's not learning anything because nobody's learning anything. I looked in this book. I tried to get some inspiration. I tried to be as much team Hoda as one could possibly be, but I already know how to breathe. I already know how to slow down. I actually know how to be home with my kids. And what was the other thing?
You seem to like your kids. Am I crazy?
I mean, what world do we live in when a mother wants to spend time with their kids?
I know, it's not like you're ever going around going, you know what I love to do? Spend time. Like, people who like their kids just like their kids and hang out with them. Anybody who's telling you they're doing this stuff, like, they have no idea. They don't like their kids. She's perseverating on joy. She's unhappy. That's what's up.
She's also making lists to spend time with her kids. She says that every day, she told Jenna at that church that every day she makes a list of things. And the list isn't like, I have to go to the grocery store. It's like...
No, she's got help to do that.
Yeah.
She doesn't talk about it, but that's what's up.
Exactly. So, because who else was taking her kids to school all those years she was at the Today Show? Mm-hmm. And I have a comment about that. But on that list, it says, read to my kids. I'm sorry, can't you just go read to your kids? Do you have to write that down on your list of to-dos for the day? And this is not necessarily what she called a traditional to-do list, but it's spiritual one that would bring her the peace that she's looking for. So she has to remind herself to read to her kids to bring her inner peace. But I think the only thing, honestly, the only thing that brings her inner peace is being on TV, because
100%. Your theory is that she wants back on the Today Show, that she realized she made a major mistake leaving.
Right. I think that it was a bridge too far for Hoda, right? So I think that she thought she had this huge following, and that then whatever the next thing was going to be, that she was actually just going to carry her followers and it would be a huge success. But that's not a business model, obviously. I think that Hoda made a huge mistake because clearly this is what she wanted to do. She also wanted the balance of being at home sometimes. So why wouldn't you just go to NBC? Because, she talks all about how she got really brave and talked about that raise and talked about wanting that spot on the Today Show.
We've heard this story a million times.
Right. So why don't you go back to those people and say, I need a little bit more time at home. How about I have a weekly show? Because then that kind of checks all the boxes, right? You're still on TV. People still look at you through a window. And then you get to go home and be home maybe 50% of the time probably 20% of the time knowing Hoda. But, why wouldn't you just do that? Why would you have to go and jump and leap and skip and tell people how to breathe and then be surprised when they're like, hey, Hoda, I'm already breathing?
You also said that at this event, Jenna cried like a lot.
She did cry a lot, and Hoda didn't. And it was the same stories that Jenna has heard over and over and over again. And
perhaps explaining the tears of boredom and frustration.
Well, she was crying over when she received her, when she was able to adopt her kids and Hoda adopted her kids, explained the adoption story for the 100th time, and Jenna's crying tears of joy, allegedly. And then she was crying over this story that Hoda has also told about the sudden death of her father when she was in college. But Hoda wasn't crying. It was just Jenna. I mean, she was wiping her face and drinking water as like she was having some sort of
I think something else is going on with Jenna. I think there's maybe trouble at home. That is just a very strange reaction, to be weeping over a former colleague who is asking for one favor too many, telling the same story over and over and over that you've heard a million times, don't you think?
I mean, I thought it was a bizarre reaction. I would think that the storyteller would be the one who had these experiences would be the one crying, but it wasn't her. So
now you said that the event was nonetheless packed.
It was.
And that these women were like lapping it up. So
I have a confession to make, though.
Yeah.
I have a confession to make. So first of all, you were right. They were in florals and they were wearing their, their flats, some.
I did tell you ballet flats would be necessary. I think you drew the line at that, but go on.
It's that, again, a bridge too far, but I just, they had their little strappy purses on and so you were right about that, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had to change back into my normal clothes before I got there. I just couldn't go.
You did? You're fired.
I couldn't do it. It was like that Meatloaf song, like, I'll do anything for the nerve, but I just can't do that.
You couldn't do it. That's so funny.
I wore the bracelets. I had to take off the clothes, and the headband was making me feel like a toddler. I couldn't handle it.
Did you get strange looks in there?
No, I didn't get strange looks, but when I first rolled up, they actually thought I was with Hoda. They thought
you were a New York City attaché.
They're like, the green room is over here. I'm like, I haven't even shown
See,
you
this
anything.
this is why, Marlena, this is why fatigues were necessary and camo, because you were spotted as the media person you are. Now, of course, you're on the right side of the media over here. You're on the proper, correct side telling the right story. But nonetheless, it was a close call.
It was. And I really did cut it close. But I did get by. No one knew who I was. And I didn't partake in the cheap wine, though. Or the
Hey,
or the
smart
Sprite.
play.
It was
smart
a smart play. But yeah, so that was an experience for sure.
Well, I gotta say, you really knocked it out of the park. Thank you for your service to the nerve, to all of the troublemakers, and just be warned, offenders out there. We've got eyes and ears everywhere. We
now
really
I'm really
do.
going to have to go undercover.
Now Marlene is really going to suffer for it. All right, thanks, Marlena.
Anytime.
Oh my God, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Okay, next up, we are talking Gwyneth Paltrow and her celeb you spawn Apple. We've got troublemaker feedback to our segment about Violet Affleck at the UN, plus more of your feedback. We are back in a minute. We've all had days when skin feels dull, hydrating products just won't stick. Energy is all over the place, and no amount of water or skincare or caffeine seems to help. That is where Peak's Radiant Skin Duo comes in. This product is a game changer. Peak supports whole body wellness from the inside out, and it's backed by experts like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Jason Fung, and Dr. Will Cole. It has over 15,000 five-star reviews. Here is why it works. Peak contains Sun Goddess Matcha. This provides a steady, calm energy throughout the day without the jitters. It's also packed with L-theanine for focus and EGCG antioxidants, which boost skin clarity and support gut health because, as we all know, great skin starts from within. Plus, BT Fountain electrolytes hydrate like nothing else. Clinically proven ceramides will lock in moisture at the skin's cellular level, and it leaves your skin plump, fresh, and glowing. Purity matters. Peak ensures all ingredients are free from heavy metals, pesticides, and mold. Just clean, science-backed hydration and energy. If you are ready to say goodbye to fatigue, dry skin, and energy crashes and begin a healthier way to hydrate, go and get 20% off plus a free frother and glass beaker at peaklife.com/thenerve. Again, that's peaklife.com/thenerve. We are back. We must address this. We must. This wound up in my algorithm the other day. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, I envy you, frankly. We're talking about Gwyneth Paltrow, who herself is a Nepo baby, her Uncle Morty, Steven Spielberg, and her Nepo spawn, Apple Martin. And it's all like a Venn diagram because, Gwyneth used to go out with Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck's Nepo baby, Violet Affleck, is also on our board today. We do miss our dartboard. We really need to get it back here. Okay. Now, Gwyneth is out there trying to save her company Goop, which, as far as I know, based on my reading, has never been profitable. Okay. She had like many series of funding, but it's not profitable. And she was told, listen, you got to streamline this thing and you got to be in two lanes. You got to be in beauty and you got to be in fashion. That's it. So she has this G label, which she just killed, and she replaced it with a smaller capsule collection called Gwyn. And it is the same thing as G label. So I don't understand what she's doing. And she's actually trying to compete with like the Row. She's trying to compete with like women who know what they want, go where they go. I don't know what she's doing over here. But so, Gwyn as G label, she's selling, cost of entry is like $700 for a cashmere sweater. Okay. Somebody at Gap, and I'm guessing it's Zach Posen because this smacks of Upper East Side elitism. Zach is a kid who came from privilege in New York City, was a hot designer for a minute until everybody caught on that he was doing the same shit over and over, and he has spiraled downward, and now he's at the Gap. I'm guessing it was his idea to hire Gwyneth and her daughter Apple, her brat, as the new spokesmodels for the current fall campaign. Now, Apple, as discussed on The Nerve, has long been rumored, and I know people who've heard these rumors as well, to have been kicked out of Harvard Westlake in LA for bullying a classmate to the point of near suicide. Never denied. This story has never been denied, okay? Then we all saw Apple flouncing about that debutante ball in Paris in 2023, her mean girl moment of flagrantly stealing the spotlight, just my opinion, from another debutante captured here. We're looking at it now. So effing obnoxious. The smirk and the smile on her face. Oh, I'm the belle of the ball. I'm the belle of this bullshit. Okay, sister. This is going to be the best she gets, okay? Because I'm going to tell you, if this girl had any talent, if she had a fraction of her father's musical talent, if she had a little bit of her mother's acting talent, we would have seen it by now. She does not, okay? But who better? Who better to front the campaign for The Gap, which is America's relatable clothing brand, okay? These two insufferable, equally snobbish, full of themselves figures in the culture. Again, they don't want to take the memo, so don't take it. Fine, the rest of us will be over here giving you what you deserve. Selling The Gap. This is going to work really well, Zach, okay? All the shareholders are going to be thrilled with not since Budweiser pivoted and hired Dylan Mulvaney have I seen a more disastrous attempt at, like, this is to talk about not knowing your audience. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at it.
Actually, her dad came up with the name. It's so her, I can't imagine anything else.
She's biting into an apple. How clever.
She has amazing style, all her own.
I would say simple,
Easy
but
when
like
you can
with
afford
a twist.
thousands and thousands
And then
of dollars
obviously
worth of
stuff from my mom.
She goes and takes a lot of my 90s clothes.
I don't know if it's stealing, but I'm stealing.
I've just watched
They
her
tell you who they
style
are.
develop and evolve. She's got a very strong sense of personal style. She knows how much I love her for exactly who she is.
Oof.
The best advice would just be to unabashedly be herself. Yeah.
Is it? Is it the best advice? Because it seems like, sorry, I'm confusing my Nepo babies. It seems like Apple Martin is a real piece of work. You know, maybe the best advice isn't to be herself. Maybe the best advice is to just buckle down with your studies and try to do something that contributes to the world and maybe work on being nice, not such a fucking asshole. Just my opinion. Okay, anyway, Violet Affleck, on to this one. We got a ton of responses on her. A ton. Okay, you guys went to town and we pulled some of, and again, they're all bangers, but we pulled some of the best comments off of our YouTube channel, the segment devoted to Violet. And before we get to that, sorry, Troublemaker Maria just hours ago sent in this update regarding the woman who walked so Violet could run. Greta Thunberg, Greta, who has been detained on yet another flotilla to Gaza, was photographed, I'm not quite sure when, wearing this hat. It is a frog hat. It is a green frog hat with frog eyes atop, like Kermit the Frog. Like, space is far apart almost as Apple Martin's. I'm just going to be a bitch about it because Apple's a bitch, I think. Just my opinion. Maria asks, Maureen, now I feel the need to hear your commentary on the frog hat. Why would a grown person wear that and still expect to be taken seriously by the world? It's her severe case of arrested development, manifesting. I think that's only part of it. But back to Violet. Okay, here's a sample of the feedback. And hopefully, I mean, it's not happening, but maybe somebody who knows Ben Affleck or Jennifer Garner is listening and like lights one of these two up to come get their kid. Vis-a-vis Violet speaking at the UN from behind an N95 mask, exhorting this otherwise ineffectual world body to force the world to mask up so she can feel better about it. Number 1, this is a girl who hates her mother. Violet looks just like her mother and therefore hates her own face. Interesting theory. This is way deeper than COVID for her. This is self-hatred on display. Number 2, Violet lacks common sense. During the fires, lower price and mid-range hotel rooms were desperately needed by lower and middle-class families. She should have been grateful to stay in a 5-star hotel instead of wanting to prevent a family from getting a hotel room that they could afford because she wanted to look humble by slumming it. Virtual high five to the author of that post. You effing nailed it. Number 3, father, kooky, mother, pushover, stepmother, loca. Number 4, Jennifer Garner was the original victim mom. No, don't photograph my kids at their 10,000th farmers market pap stroll. Number 5, The Mask, because of Ben's cigarettes and JLo's perfume. LOL. Very funny. Number 6, this is the same Violet Affleck who accompanied her mom to the White House state dinner in 2022 without a mask. How irresponsible to be unmasked with all those dignitaries and a frail Joe Biden. Number 7, at the UN, instead of youth advocate, the sign should have said Nepo baby. Number 8, we normies have to abide by everything the rich preach to us. Meanwhile, they've been partying unquarantined all COVID long. Eat shit. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, also, in a lot of your emails and DMs I'm getting from you guys, you like it when I talk about, and it just sort of comes in tangentially as I'm talking to you, like I'm not always planning it at all, but you like it when I recommend things or people, artists that I love. And I've been thinking a lot about this guy lately and listening to him a ton. And I'm going to share this guy with you. For those of you who may not know, you are in for a treat. And I don't care if you don't identify, by the way, as a fan of this genre of music. Doesn't apply. This guy transcends anything you might think. So open mind, open hearts. Chris Stapleton, to my mind, is one of the most talented guys going. I am in love with this guy. I am in love with his music. He is an artist. He is an artist for the ages. He is a once in a generation talent. He is a country artist, but he brings in, there's a blues element that is undeniable. There is soul. This guy has soul. This guy has seen some shit. Okay. He knows what he's talking about. I'm going to recommend 3 singles in this order: Traveler, Parachute, and the third is called You Should Probably Leave. And probably is the operative word in that song. Okay. And you listen to his phrasing and his inflections. This guy is a true artist. Okay. You look at those jokers on The Voice who are judging, and then you go and listen to a Chris Stapleton. I'm like dying to see him live. I can't believe I haven't seen him live yet. But anyway, he is my recommendation for the week. Chris Stapleton. Talk to me about it after you listen, okay? Now, onto your emails. Hi, Maureen, retired Army troublemaker here. Jennifer with a P. Thank you for your service, Jen. This is just a short note to share how much I appreciate you and your team. Thank you. You have Hollywood red pilled me. I can never go back to watching regular entertainment shows. That is our mission. I've always found Hollywood, the mainstream media, and most celebrities distasteful. Now I have more, quote, ammo when my friends want to gossip about their favorite stars. Dear Maureen, I thought you would be interested to know, and I am, that ordinary people, we talked about that on our Redford tribute. It was originally a novel, which I did not know. Troublemaker Blondie, love your name, says it was an over the transom, meaning the novel was pulled from the slush pile manuscript. I believe it was discovered by an editor for serial publication in Good Housekeeping magazine before it was published as a paperback novel. Those were the days. Hi, Maureen. I enjoy The Nerve. I'm excited about The Nerve at night, as are we. Possible new segment, book reviews or recommendations from you. We are working on it. This is from Kendra, a late 90s baby. P.S. I own a Pomeranian too. They are the best dogs. You know, Teddy was really sick this week, but he's getting through it. Oh my God. Okay. Dear Maureen, it took me about 5 minutes to realize Violet Affleck, quote, allegedly has nosophobia. Nosophobia is an intense fear about developing a disease, and a symptom, among other things, is avoidance behaviors. This girl needs help. Just my thoughts from troublemaker Ruth. And sadly, at her age, if she doesn't want help, it is going to be difficult to get it for her. Hi, Maureen. 2 questions. This is from Stephanie in Boston. Do you think Meghan Markle sees a therapist? No. And even if she did, malignant narcissists, just my opinion, they cannot be helped. Narcissists cannot be treated. Number 2, do you think at some point in his distressed young adult years that Prince Harry may have pursued paternity testing to determine if the king is in fact his bio dad? Not in his youth, but is it entirely possible that he ordered a 23andMe kit because things are so unstable over there? Absolutely. Hi, Maureen. I just wanted to say a big thank you for recommending the biography. I love this biography. I'm so glad you read it. Of Truman Capote by Gerald Clark. I mentioned it a few episodes back. I loved reading his Breakfast at Tiffany's. I preferred it to the movie. Truman wanted Marilyn Monroe, not Audrey. I'm an Audrey girl. I just finished listening to it on Audible. It was fascinating. That book will stay with me. Truman was a tortured soul. She loved the Priscilla Presley segment, believes it. And this is where my Chris Stapleton thing just came in. Troublemaker Lisa, Cornwall, UK, asks more book recommendations, maybe on your new late night show. Another idea would be a song from the jukebox, reminds you of a place, a memory, a feeling, a time in your life. And, I will say I did the, when you do wakes now, and I don't know how long it's been going on because it's been a while since I went to a wake besides my dad's about 1.5 years ago, but I did the playlist for his wake, and on his list, on his playlist, I chose Chris Stapleton's Parachute, in part because that was a metaphor for the way my dad would always try to catch me as a kid, and my dad was an airborne in the Army, so Screaming Eagle. Okay, Maureen, oh my God, I love this sign off. Armando J. Ortiz, who signed off this email, sportsman, raconteur, and shameless loungeabout. Armando, you have found your people. Armando asks, oh, by the way, these are my favorite. As I've told you guys, he says, I am a 64-year-old hetero man and fully into man stuff. And yet I cannot get enough of your show. I'm freaking dying. Okay, Armando asks, can we please deal with the elephants in the room with men's fashion? Happy to. Who decided that menswear, specifically his question, had to be a one-size-fits-all slim fit fest, where grown men are forced to squeeze themselves into heinous slim fit suits and pegged pants and skinny jeans, regardless of their physique, whatever happened to tailoring? What I wouldn't give to get my hands on a full cut suit with appropriate, Tom Ford has exited the fashion lane. I feel Tom Ford would have been the one for you to go to with this, Armando. I feel he would have heard this plea wholeheartedly. What I wouldn't give to get my hands on a full cut suit with appropriately sized labels, double pleated slacks that drape gracefully, and tailored suits with appropriately cut collars that don't make grown men look like 8 pounds of lumpen blubber in a 5-pound bag. Not every man is built like a 20-year-old gay man's fantasy Adonis. If you are an Adonis, fine, the slim fit is for you. But if you are a regular guy, why should you be forced to wear clothing that makes you look clownish? Can we get to the bottom of this? I think, Armando, that some men's fashion names need to go to the woodshed, if not the chipper. Looking at you, Joseph Aboud, Tom Brown, etc., and Anna Pett. Tom Brown. Look at Cary Grant. Look at Jackie Gleason, Gregory Peck, Humphrey Bogart. Do I really have to spend $12,000 and go to London for a real suit of clothes? And don't women notice that men's clothes don't really fit anymore? Don't they notice how twee and gay their men's clothing has become? Parens, Pete Hegseth. Armando, please keep writing to us. Thank you kindly. Armando ends this rant. You're so nerve. Thank you kindly for your wonderful gossip show and your brilliant quote, real news about fake people. Armando, God, please keep writing us. Okay, we want from Troublemaker Christine, a Troublemaker book club. She recently read The Tell in her monthly book club. Interestingly, Christine says, and we've been all over Amy Griffin, the author of this quote unquote memoir. Amy, we're not letting up on Amy, trust me. Christine says, interestingly, even the far left members of my book club picked up on the phoniness of Amy's conveniently remembered one-sided rape story. Thanks for consistently being a voice of reason and standing up to the elitists who profit off of lies, harming people in the process. Just my opinion. Now, this comes from Corey, our last one. Now, she says that in one of our various takedowns of Meghan Markle, I mean, pick one. We played a clip where she responds to Jamie Carlina, her appearance on that show. She responds to something with the power of yet. Meghan Markle did. Like, it's some profound thought that just popped into her head. I thought, what a moron. Rightly so, Corey. Well, Maureen, I was doing my 7-year-old's hair the other morning, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but she answered me with, the power of yet, Mommy. I had to have her repeat what she said, and then I asked her where she got that, because I know she's not listening to Meghan Markle. She said her teacher is reading a book called, quote, Bubble Gum Brain. Meghan Markle, according to Corey, quoted a second grade book as if it was profound and as if she came up with that herself. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now we have the origin of the power of yet. Now we know what Meghan's reading. Now we know why when Meghan was touring Emily Chang of Bloomberg News through her favorite place to go in Montecito, her favorite bookstore, and then went and told Emily when asked what she reads that she doesn't really have time to read. We know why Meghan dodged and weaved, because she's reading second grade books for material, I guess. That's great stuff. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. A reminder before we get to Rob Shooter to join us for this celebrity muckraking round, okay? Quick reminder. Send us at The Nerve your thoughts and suggestions. You can reach me always at Maureen at devilmaycaremedia.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at Maureen Callahan Writer or at The Nerve Show. Back in a minute. Did you know that all chips and fries used to be cooked in tallow up until the 1990s? That's when big corporations switched to cheaper processed seed oils. And today, seed oils make up 20% of the average American's daily calories. Recent studies have linked seed oils to metabolic health issues and inflammation in the body. Luckily, there is a better alternative, Masa chips. Masa created a healthy and delicious chip, and they did it with just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. That's right, no seed oils. These chips taste incredible. We love them here at The Nerve. We serve them to our guests when we have them in studio, and everybody winds up like going, do you mind if I take this home? Mind if I take it home? Masa chips are crunchier and sturdier than other chips, okay? And they will leave you satisfied, light, and energetic. They come in a variety of flavors. My favorite is the original, but the others are also really delicious. White, blue, lime, cobanero, and churro. If you are ready to give Masa a try, go to masachips.com/Maureen and use code Maureen for 25% off your first order. That's masachips.com/Maureen, code Maureen for 25% off your first order. And if you don't feel like ordering online, no problem. Starting this month, Masa is available nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket. So stop by and grab a bag or 2 or 3 before they are gone. Joining us now at The Nerve is Rob Shooter. He is a veteran celebrity news and gossip journalist. His Substack is called Naughty But Nice. And if you're not a subscriber, go over and treat yourself. Rob, for my money, he's at the forefront of breaking all the celebrity news that's happening right now. There's nobody better. So Rob, we are thrilled to have you at the Nerve, and we have got to get to what seems like the week's biggest celebrity story. What seems like a sudden breakup between Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, married for 19 years. Now, I got to get your thoughts on this breaking news out of Hello Magazine Canada edition. According to reports, Nicole and Keith had a prenup that included a quote unquote cocaine clause. So Nicole, according to this report, would pay Keith $600,000 for every year he stayed off the blow. What do you make of this? He could have made $11 million.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm a huge fan of this show. I listen all the time, so it's a real pleasure to be here. This is a big story, isn't it? So we'd heard rumors about this for a couple of months. So people in the business had been hearing rumors about this. And apparently, if you had reporters in Nashville, which I now do have, this was an open secret. Keith was seeing somebody, was with somebody. We do not have a name yet. We have some rumors about who we've got
a potential offender out there, but Nashville is where he and Nicole and their children are based.
Yeah, they're based there, and so this was an open secret in Nashville, and now it has reached all of us. It has reached the world. So although I am surprised, I think these two seemed a really steady couple. 19 years in Hollywood is a million years, and so I think we were surprised. However, people that have been in the know, people that have been the boots on the ground, they're not as surprised by this. They had a really, really messy start within months of their marriage. He was in rehab. They've admitted this. So they were married a few months, and he went to the Betty Ford clinic and disappeared for a couple of months. So they've had a really rough relationship. And that's why I'm curious about the cocaine clause in the contract. Nicole knew very, very early on that Keith had demons, and I think throughout
demons. Okay, let's get into that, because I just columned on this over at the Daily Mail yesterday.
I read it.
And the word surprise keeps coming up among those of us who are talking about this for a living, if you can imagine. But I think, listen, I'm surprised it was another woman. You know what I'm saying? Keith does not present as the most heterosexual of males. Let's get real.
Well, a friend of mine was joking they're fighting over their hair straighteners today.
Yes, the hair iron, and who gets the colorist in all of this. But, to your point about the beginning of their relationship, they were engaged within months of dating. And shortly after the marriage, right when Keith entered rehab, they said alcohol, but his habits, extended to crack cocaine. A woman came forward, a young woman, a part-time model, and said she had been involved with Keith for several years, including during his relationship with and engagement to Nicole.
Yeah, absolutely right. This is the spin of Nicole Kidman. She's an expert in covering her tracks and covering her family's tracks. We still have never really got to the bottom of her and Tom Cruise's split. And so with a lot
And Tom was the one who left her.
That's
not
right.
the other way around.
Yeah,
now, the rumor about that has always been that Nicole was having a torrid affair with an incredibly at his peak Ewan McGregor, who could blame her, on the set of Moulin Rouge. Had potentially, allegedly, reportedly, she has always denied this, become pregnant with Ewan's child. Tom found out, and that was it. He dropped her.
Rumor. Back then, I remember all those years ago. And so I think although we are surprised, when we dig a little deeper here, we're going to find out that we shouldn't be really that surprised at all. There's been some signals. They haven't been seen together in several months. He purchased a house by himself, which is never a good sign. I think she applied to move to Portugal, of all places, to become a citizen in Portugal. And he's not on that application. And so all the signals are there. We've done this a long time. And it's just like our real friends. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity property or not, when you don't live with your husband, when one of you applies for a visa and the other one doesn't, it's not a good sign. I am told, though, exclusively that Nicole knows who the woman is. So even though we've not named her yet, we have some suspicions. We think it might be somebody that works with Keith, on the road with Keith, in his band. Nicole knows exactly who this person is. And this is what I think is so interesting. If it was addiction, she's been there for 19 years. She knew this. This is something new. This is not him drinking again because she's been through that. This is not him abusing substances again because she's been through that. What is different this time? I'm told what is different is that he has fell in love.
Okay, to that point, now you guys may not be ready to name this person, but we're going to put our theory out there because she's all over Instagram advertising it. And we're going to show these reels. Her name is Maggie Bao, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Baugh. And Keith is like, and this is what's surprising to me because, you know, Nicole really does infamously keep her image tightly locked. It's tighter than her face at this point. Keith is out there advertising this. The other night while performing live, he changed the lyrics to a song that he wrote for Nicole. These terribly written lyrics when they're trying to, Keith spelled it Tryna, when they're trying to get to you, baby, I'll be the fighter. That was for Nicole. He changed those lyrics to when they try to get to you, Maggie, and he's singing to her, his guitarist, I'll be your guitar player. So to me, it looks like he's rubbing Nicole's face in this public humiliation.
He wants us to know. He's been in the business a very long time. He knew that everybody was going to be at this show. It was the first show since the news broke that she had filed for divorce. Everybody was going to be paying attention that night. And he's a smart guy. He knows how to do this. He's very self-conscious too about his image. We've joked about his eyeliner and his hair straighteners. They're all true. He definitely spends a lot of time thinking about how he's going to come across physically and what he says. So he wanted us to hear that. We did hear it. He looked very smug about it when he sang it to her. And so now today it has exploded that maybe she is the one. I hit the phones. I called everybody I know and they couldn't confirm it. They said that there's another name. There's another name in Nashville and maybe he did this.
Oh, there's another woman? There are two other women.
There might be two, there might be one. He might be sort of like throwing us off the track here. Celebrities enjoy all this. And so all my years working with celebrities as well as reporting on them, they enjoy the attention.
Oh, 100%. You know what's coming next week, Rob. Please respect our privacy at this most difficult time. Please. I mean, do you have a theory or any boots on the ground reporting as to why Keith is so intent on humiliating the mother of his children this way? I mean, for any other reason, how about your children, you know, your teenage daughters? Why not like spare them this bullshit?
Yeah, you would think that the kids, although Nicole has a very, very complicated relationship with her two children that she had with Tom Cruise. And so although she portrays herself very close to her kids that she has with Keith, there's lots of questions about her as a mother. I think here what I was told, and this is what made the most sense to me, is that he was just sick of being Mr. Nicole Kidman for 19 years, and now he's lashing out, and he is humiliating her.
Oh my God, if that's for real, grow up. She leveled him up. You know, he would still be slinging his wares in like honky tonks in the lower 48, okay? Jeez, oh my God, we're going to get to Sunday Rose, the Nepo baby Dior model who's posting about that while her family falls apart, you know, priorities. I wanted to move on, if I may, with you to one Meghan Markle.
Oh, Meghan.
Now, yesterday, or rather Wednesday, the headlines were that her father, her estranged father, Thomas, was dramatically caught up in an upper level apartment building in an earthquake in the Philippines via Us Weekly. A report dated October 1st. Thomas Markle has denied His other daughter, Samantha Markle, claims that he was trapped in his apartment after a devastating earthquake in the Philippines. Thomas, and I quote, "I'm currently sitting on the couch in my hotel room with my feet kicked up, watching Charlie Chan movies. We appreciate the caller, Thomas. I'm quite comfortable." He revealed his hotel is located 100 miles from the epicenter. Now, Harry and Meghan are due to also receive some awards. We'll get to that. But what I found interesting about this is that for a good 24 hours, Rob, we all believed that was true.
We did, which is really telling about what we think of her and how she's treated her father. What I think is going on here is Samantha Markle wants to constantly remind us what happened between Meghan and her dad, and it wasn't pretty. And for as much as Meghan talks about respect and kindness and treating everybody very well, the way she treated her father was appalling. What he did wasn't great, but she cut him off. He did not get a second chance here. She cut him off. And Samantha, who has no love lost with Meghan, constantly reminds us. So
I love
this was another example of Samantha telling a story that was half true. He wasn't caught in this building. He's 100 miles away. However, he is in the Philippines. But once again, the takeaway here is that Samantha won't let this go every opportunity she gets to
No, she's going to
humiliate her,
remind us what a terrible daughter Meghan Markle is. And like your dad is in some hotel in the Philippines because he can't his two nickels to rub together. And so she and her hapless husband are coming to New York City next week to collect an award for mental health, for healthy minds, because as I've said before, that's exactly who I think of when I think stable, healthy minds. Harry and Meghan. And under the umbrella of a humanitarian award, no less. Talk to me, Rob. Talk to me.
We've been to all these award shows. We see these awards. They're not real. A lot of them are created.
They mean nothing.
Let's remember the Oscars was created in the 1920s to promote the film business. It was all a publicist's idea. These award shows are not a judgment of talent or creativity. These shows that give humanitarian awards. I've been in those meetings where we decide literally who's going to be the sexiest guy on the cover, and it's the guy that sells the best. That's what it's about
or,
here.
Rob, it sometimes comes down to we can't get celebrity A to agree to do this. So now we go down the list.
Yes. And so I think Meghan and Harry here, they do get publicity, though. They have managed to keep us interested, maybe repulsed for whatever reason. But in this business, love and hate are both really powerful emotions. And to be honest, I think sometimes hate is more powerful on people that I cover. When my audience, when my readers don't like the person, they're much more excited about the story. And so Meghan and Harry, they press everybody's buttons. And so to get them at your event will get your event a lot of attention. Big picture, I'm not sure it's a great idea. But Samantha, the next time we hear from you, I'm quite sure you'll be rubbing Meghan's nose in it. And I can't wait.
I can't wait either. So now I'd like to pivot to another person who is peddling some meaningless stuff out there. And I've been digging your coverage of this woman because she is a bête noire here at The Nerve, one Hoda Kotb, who is out peddling Joy 101. And Rob, per your reporting, the Joy 101 empire is a massive flop.
It's a massive flop. Nobody knows quite what it is. I don't think Hoda knows what it is at the big launch party.
I agree.
We were trying to figure out what is this app. Now, the problem is a lot of Hoda's fans from the Today Show, probably women in their 60s, don't go on apps. So she's sort of appealing to the wrong audience here. And then the other thing is with an app, you got to do something. You've got to give me something. It's like having a newsletter. It's like having a website. You've got to constantly feed the beast. For 26 years, Hoda had over 100 staff, maybe even more, 200 at NBC, making her look good. She's a very talented person, but they
You think so?
I think she
is. I
don't think you get to be the host of the Today Show without some sharp elbows and some talent.
May I, please?
You may.
She was in the right place at the right time. Matt Lauer got me chewed. It was a shit show over at NBC. They had to plug somebody in there. And who better than the bench warmer who happened to be a woman of color, thereby elevating the Today Show to have two female hosts of a morning show in America for the first time in history. It was deep. DEI all the way. She's not a brain trust. Have you listened to her speak extemporaneously? I don't know what she's talking about half the time.
It's like cotton candy. And that's the problem with that app. I went on it. I couldn't understand it. Now, I'm not the most smart person in the world, but I'm not that dumb either.
Smart.
I couldn't figure it out. And so a newsletter from Maria Schreiber, her best friend, every 6 months, is not going to get me tuning in every day. So with these apps, you want people to refresh every 10 minutes, every hour. And Hoda just puts up one story a month. So it's falling apart. The other thing that's falling apart too is as part of this brand, she's doing getaways, retreats, where you pay a lot of money and you do a retreat. Well, this had been up for sale for a long time. Nobody was buying tickets. So now Hoda's added Alicia Keys to the retreat. And so it's going to be Alicia and Hoda. The ticket sales have increased a little bit. It's amazing. I think that people forget
that great
this.
supporter of October 7th, Alicia Keys.
Was she really?
Allegedly. Allegedly,
That
there was
breaks my
there was an Instagram post that made me say to myself, never again will I put a penny in this woman's pocket.
Right.
To your point about Hoda's retreats, joy. Let's celebrate death and destruction of October 7th. Joy. Okay, whatever. So I noticed this. Hoda did one retreat, and it was like a giveaway for New York City school teachers who are so chronically underpaid and underappreciated. They will take anything. Okay. So, but it's not the kind of thing that she was flogging when she launched this thing back in, I think, April, which was like, spend thousands of dollars, come to some luxurious retreat with me, and you'll work with me and my celebrity wellness gurus as to how to self-actualize. Nobody's buying these tickets. You called her, or one of your sources called her, a second-rate guru. They said nobody wants to pay for a second-rate guru.
I understand that, because that isn't her craft. You know, I have a lot of doubts about these self-help experts, but they do the work. Hoda hasn't. Hoda's a TV
Some of them,
star.
really, most of them don't. They're all full of it.
But they promote themselves in a way that Hoda doesn't. Like, Hoda's got to figure out, what do you do? It's like my friends, everybody wants to be on TV. Everybody wants to have their own podcast. And I asked them a very simple question. I'd ask this to Hoda: what are you going to do for 15 or 20 minutes? What are you going to do? Like, how can you be remotely interesting for 10 minutes? And without
She's like Meghan Markle, Rob. She can't, when you say, what is the premise of your enterprise here? It's a lot of gibberish. It's a lot of word salad. We're circling and circling, and we cannot land this plane.
I don't know what it is. You've got to be able to tell me in 10 words or less. What is it? We're not stupid. And if you want me to pay for it, you've certainly got to be able to tell me. And so Hoda's business, it's not doing very well. There's some rumors that maybe she'd like to go back to the Today Show. I think her tail
Yes. What do you think of those rumors?
Well, she was on the show last week, and it didn't have a bump. And that's all they care about in television.
No bump.
No bump.
No ratings
no
bump.
ratings bump. And so that's a very bad sign for
Rob,
Hoda. Had she gone on...
last week when she was on, I saw her with her fake love fest with Savannah. You know, like, as I said on Megyn Kelly's show, every time you know those hosts see the rundown and it's like, Hoda's back again. She just left. Please. But I don't think she even got, she used to do, when she was first launching her Joy 101, she came back and co-hosted the 4th hour of Today with Jenna, which used to be her stomping grounds. But this time there was no co-hosting with Jenna. Jenna's taken that crown.
Yeah, my sources at NBC told me they didn't really want her there, because once you leave, it's quite dangerous, because if you have them back, the audience might remember what they were missing, or it's a bad comparison. So they didn't really want her. But if they didn't say yes, she would have got on GMA, which would have looked terrible. Good Morning America, their competition. So she came back. She only had one segment. They plugged a book. They plugged this event, and it was interesting. They were just going to go to break. And Savannah was basically saying goodbye and had forgot to mention this event, which was the whole reason she was on the show.
Do you think she forgot, or do you think she forgot?
She forgot. It's in the teleprompter. Anyone that's been on those shows, I've been on them hundreds of times, it's all there in the teleprompter. And so Hoda quickly reminded everybody about this event. But it's not going well. It's a lesson here. And we see this in a lot of people on television, whether it be a housewife or Hoda. Once you leave the show, it's over. Once you leave that show, That's where your fans are. That's where your bread and butter is. That's where you were built up to succeed. And without that infrastructure, without those 100 people producing you, editing you, writing scripts, the lighting at the Today Show is amazing. The hair and makeup are amazing. But once you lose all that, then it's you and me and an iPhone, and that's what Hoda now has been reduced to. This app is the strangest thing. I've been on it 5 or 6 times, and I still don't really understand it. I don't know quite what she's selling.
You know, you're so right, Rob, about that. I call it, with the housewives especially, I call it site-specific fame. Like, you're famous within those 4 walls, but then once you begin to believe your own hype and think you're bigger than the show, you're in for a very rude awakening. I mean, you're so right about those hundreds of people making Hoda look good, like, and competent and cogent, and like she's got something to say.
Yes.
My favorite, I could talk about her all day. My favorite thing about this whole thing is she allegedly quit the Today Show to spend more time with her 8-year-old and 6-year-old.
That's what she said.
It's like Tom Brady. You're home for 5 hot minutes and you're like, you kids are boring me. I need some adulation. I need a dopamine hit. Okay, one more celeb before we have to let you go. You're very generous with your time, so thank you. Priscilla Presley is out there making the rounds with her memoir about her life after Elvis, and the big headline, which most, if not all, journalists who sit down with her are really avoiding, is the allegation in a lawsuit brought by 2 of Priscilla's ex-business partners that Priscilla prematurely pulled the plug on her own daughter, Lisa Marie, to wrest control of Graceland away from Lisa's daughter, Riley. Mm-hmm. What do you know about this?
Yeah, it's a shocking, shocking accusation. I'm told that anybody who gets to sit down with Priscilla is not allowed to talk about that. Her PR people have made it very clear that that is a topic that you do not mention. So there's certainly a sting there. We know this family was going through immense trauma, immense infighting, immense, really, really ugly legal battles over this estate. This is what is the glue that has unfortunately held this family together. It's money, it's Elvis, it's who controls Elvis's image, his legacy, his estate. And this is where all the money comes from. I follow the money all the time. And so whoever controlled this estate, it's like whoever controls the Michael Jackson estate, they're the most powerful person in the family. Priscilla had lost control. Lisa Marie was in control of this empire. Her mom was not happy about it. And then she passes. And then there's another ugly battle. She doesn't let Lisa Marie's daughter take her rightful claim here. She fights.
Not only that, though, but Rob, she didn't wait until Lisa Marie's daughter Riley, who was in the air, who dropped everything and rushed to an airport to get to her mother's bedside before she died. Priscilla did not allow that to happen. And not only that, Priscilla tells 2 versions of this story. One in which, she's sitting at home and gets a phone call that her daughter has died. There's another version in which Priscilla's like, let's pull this plug. I don't care that my granddaughter is racing against time to get here.
Yeah, none of which I would argue, none of which would have come out had Priscilla not done this book. I'm not sure why she's doing this book. I don't think the world was clamoring for a book by Priscilla. And I always say to celebrities who want to do books, if you're not going to tell the truth, don't do it. Like, if it's just a press release, don't bother. You've got a lot of money. You've got a lot of power. It's not going to change your life. If you're not willing to sit down and answer hard questions, then why are we doing this book? I think this book is a press release. This book is about her. It is called Her. I'm shocking some of the things that she's willing to say in it for somebody that's been private for so long. But I do think the unintended consequences of this book is now there's a lot of questions. And you know what, Priscilla? If you want your privacy, we might respect that. But once you start to talk, then you've opened that door. And now all these questions are absolutely appropriate.
You are so right about that, Rob. And I have her book here. And as you're talking, I was like, I've got to show the cover. It is a young Priscilla standing in front of Graceland. It is not subtle. It is, I wish I were 28 again, and this house is mine. This is my estate. You're going to have to come through me. I don't care if you're my blood granddaughter. Get out.
She wants that house. She wants that house.
Oh, my God. Well, I've had the most fun talking to you, like the most fun. We would love for you to come back, especially next week as the Diddy verdict comes down.
Yeah, I worked with Diddy as his publicist in the early 2000s when he was still puffy, when he was P. Daddy. And so big verdict. I'll be back and let you know all my thoughts about it.
Sounds incredible. We cannot wait. Thank you, Rob.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. And that does it for your Friday edition of The Nerve. We have got, we missed doing the mini while we were off. We did need a little bit of a break, but we missed doing the mini. And this week, as we were prepping for it, we were debating among four potential minis. That's how much great stuff has been breaking all week. And there's one winner. Like there was one who clearly announced itself as the winner, or a loser. Really, guys, you know what I'm saying. So we're going to be revisiting one of our repeat offenders who's asking for it, really just begging for it. So happy to do it. So be sure to head over to YouTube tomorrow. That's where the minis live for now. The YouTube channel, our YouTube, what am I, 80? Our YouTube channel, the Nerve YouTube channel. We drop it at 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And then we will see you next week. Our first week of 3 full nerves. And that's how we're going forward. 3 full shows. We're introducing the Nerve at night. And then our mini again on the following Saturdays. So the Nerve at night will drop on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. So we're very excited and we can't wait to see you there and back here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, half a Saturday at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next.